Hello colleagues, welcome back to Career and Corporate Hub. I'm so excited to announce that we are starting with season 3 of Career and Corporate Hub. So this time around, this one is actually more exciting for me because we're taking our conversation global. We're going to be interviewing professionals who have, who are making impact and thriving outside of their home countries. So we are definitely going to delve into how they got to where they are and just their career journey so that you get inspired. When I started Career and Corporate Hub, I was not even a reader. Now I'm a reader. So I get inspired a lot from the interviews that I do. Starting with Dr. Maumeda, the artificial intelligence doctor. He spoke about reading, and that really inspired me a lot. And that's when my reading journey started. And moving to, some of the people that I interviewed, Naniso, Mkolisi, Sisenalo, just like thinking of the people who moved abroad after interviewing them. Bonga, these are some of the guys who inspired me to move abroad, and this is where I am right now. So now, this season we are definitely taking it, abroad, we're going across border. So welcome, stay tuned. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Please, let's engage. This is, engaging is one thing. I hear a lot of people coming to me to say, "Oh, I love your podcast. I love this. I love that." I'm like, let's engage on YouTube. So please, colleagues, let's engage on YouTube. So stay tuned. I'm so excited to announce my very first guest for episode 1. This guest really inspired me because she does something that is close to my heart, career coaching. So welcome, Christina. Please also pronounce your surname because I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, in English it's quite difficult. It's Aswede.
Aswede?
Yeah, it's a German name, but it's very hard for foreigners to pronounce it.
Yeah. Welcome, and thank you so much for allowing me to, just to unpack your career journey and also what inspired career coaching. So I'm so excited to be having this conversation with you.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here today.
So although today we are going to talk about your career journey, I would also like to start by knowing your background, because it usually influences where you end up. Although your past cannot define you, but somehow it influences it. So who is Christina?
Christina has also a Chinese name. My name is Xiaofang, Chen Xiaofang. And this was something I pushed away from myself very, very long time. Because my mom is from Taiwan, my dad is German, and I was born in Switzerland. And I always struggled to find my identity. This was something which really influenced me a lot, through my whole childhood. I'm the oldest. I have a sister and a brother, and I had to pay
Firstborns have. I think being a firstborn is always hard because you have to live. To live by example. I think.
Yes, I had to do everything first, and they could just follow. So for them, it was maybe easier. For me, it was quite hard because I grew up in a small village, and there were no foreigners. And I thought I'm a German, but I looked more Chinese when I was a kid, and they always asked me, "Where are you from?" And you're from China. But actually, my mom is from Taiwan. My mom always told me, "No, you're not from China. You're Taiwanese." And I didn't get this whole political thing behind it. And I didn't care at all. And I just wanted to be German. So I stopped speaking Chinese. I grew up bilingual, but I stopped speaking Chinese. My siblings stopped speaking Chinese, and it was really hard for my mom to deal with that. And then I realized that it can be a strength and it is not my weakness to speak Chinese when I was graduating from high school. So it took me quite a long time until I realized, let's start learning Chinese again.
But what sparked that feeling or realization that I need to start learning Chinese?
Because I felt always incomplete.
Okay, I see. But at home, was your mom speaking Chinese or German?
She tried a long time, but after a while she just had to give up because we always like answered in German, and this whole environment was German. So yeah, I feel very sorry for my mom now, but at least now I speak Chinese again.
And I think, you know, with what you're saying, I can actually relate with my kids. I'm Venda from South Africa. My husband is Shangan from South Africa. We speak different languages, and you know, when we met, I couldn't speak his language, he couldn't speak my language, and now at home we've got kids. Like, we were using English, and English is not our home language. So now coming to China, and you hear, like, for example, my kids' friends, like they're German, or they come from different countries. I mean, the kids at their school come from different countries. Yes. And when they speak their home language, it makes me feel like, why was I not teaching my kids their home language? You know, because for them, English is just an additional language. At home, they literally speak in German, and so I think I sort of like understand in terms of you know, having that like lost identity in a way, because sometimes my son would say, "Oh, Daddy, your language." Is like, no, it's your language, you know. So now it's like something that we really have to still teach them. Yes. To say this is your roots, and you have to like be proud of it. Yeah.
But it's really hard actually to teach that, I think, as a parent, because kids are going through this whole phase, and you know, kids are very honest, and they might ask you, where are you from? And kids also will start asking, so where are my roots at one point? And I don't know, maybe in this world it's now a bit easier because it's more globalized, so it's more normal to have like different cultures combined in one class. But especially in my case, because it was such a small village, and they considered me as a foreigner, but I had a German passport, and I actually grew up there. So for me, I wasn't a foreigner. That's why I was so embarrassed speaking Chinese. But that's so sad, because this is like half of me, right? And that's why I realized I wasn't a complete person. And since I started learning Chinese again, I felt more and more complete. And then this also influenced my choice of what I want to study at university. So I studied business administrations and Chinese, because I thought, why not? I mean, this is just it can be my strength.
Yes.
So I did this, and that's how I started my journey with China. Like, I came to China as a student, and I did internships here. I went back and forth, then I got my first job in a big German automotive manufacturer. And
this is after studying in China?
In Germany and in China. So I was going back and forth. My university was in Germany, but I came to China to study and to do internships.
Yeah, I actually looked at your qualification on LinkedIn, because I also wanted to touch on that. It was quite different from like your normal traditional qualifications. Like, I wrote it down. It's a Bachelor of Arts in Asian, so you did Asian Studies and International Business Management.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was it, like, studying, you know, like, how was it overall, you studying this qualification?
You know, my first thought was I just studied Chinese, but there are so many people who can speak Chinese, so with only Chinese you cannot earn money. So I thought, okay, I combine it with business, and then I found this. So I started this, and it was really my passion. I really realized, like, the combination of business and Chinese is just so nice. And I mean, it was like many years ago, and at that time China was just booming, and so it gave me a lot of opportunities, and it helped me to get a good job, you know. So that's why it was really great.
But you got a job in Germany, not in China. Okay, maybe like because of then the import-export, the language advantage, I must say, or...
Yeah, they always said like the language for sure is an advantage, but then I joined this big company, and they told me, with Chinese you don't earn money, you need to become a specialist. And this was one point, that's why I decided to take a master's in international management without Chinese, so to have another degree without Chinese, just to prove myself or prove them, which was actually nonsense, because I mean, this was just one of my strengths and I should be proud of it. But there were people actually in the company telling me, Chinese is nice, but you don't actually need it in our German company. And Yeah, but then I was very lucky to meet one manager. He was also half Chinese, half German, and he got a job offer, and he said, Christina, why don't you want to try to apply for it? And I looked at the job description and I didn't match any of the criteria. Only one, and it was intercultural competence.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
When you say intercultural competence, that's like for the requirements from the job offer.
Yes.
Or the job advert.
Yes.
Basically.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because, you know, it was in an international environment and they needed to have some people who can deal especially with Chinese joint venture environment, basically.
So it worked at your advantage.
Yes.
And now, you know, just you leaving high school, choosing to study business management and, you know, Chinese, what influenced that? Like, where did you see yourself working? The reason I'm asking, you know, most people would leave school and study human resources, engineering, you know, like the most common qualifications, but not a lot of people would leave and study probably business management. Yes, they usually study it at an advanced level, like postgraduate. Like I did business management as a postgraduate.
Yeah. I don't know, to be honest, I didn't think so much at that time. I was early in my 20s. I was just thinking only Chinese doesn't make sense, so I also do business administration. I didn't think so much, and I was very lucky because I just got my jobs on luck. It was not on purpose that I chose to go into a specific direction, which also causes some problems, to be honest.
Why?
Because I'm not a specialist in something.
Okay.
So, but quickly going back to the story, you know, I applied for this job at the end, you know, without meeting all the criteria, and I got a job in production planning, but I'm not an engineer. But I really got this job, and they said, okay, now you can prove yourself, you have 1 year, and then let's see how you are doing.
And because of the language.
Yeah, the language was one of the big advantages, and this intercultural competency. So I got this job. It was in Germany, but I had to go to China like every 2-3 months, back and forth on business trip. And we worked in China on a big project in a joint venture environment. And even though I was not an engineer, I could really contribute a lot because of the language, because I understood the people there, you know. And so I could finally use my weakness as a strength, which was amazing.
It's great,
But the downside is I'm not a specialist in some specific area. So I'm not an HR specialist, I'm not a engineer, I'm not an IT specialist or whatever.
Looking at the company where you were working more especially.
And so they told me, you're not a specialist, you should find your field. You know, but I thought, why? I'm just a more generalistic person, you know, why should I squeeze myself into something?
And I'm competent in my job. I mean, with I'll look at South Africa, for an example, when they do hiring, they look at a qualification. For an example, if it's an engineering position, the prerequisite would obviously be an engineering qualification, and then when they do audits, they also audit if the person who has occupied that job has that degree. So sometimes, you know, it can become a disadvantage that you're in a department where you don't have like the specific qualification for it. It can also suppress your growth, that you're not considered for higher positions or something. Sometimes, not all the time, but usually it's usually the case. But now going back to your story, I mean, looking at where you are currently, or before you took the sabbatical leave, or rather, can you please take us through your journey from your working experience? So you work initially. Did you do your internship? How did your work history? How does your work history look like?
Yes. I've always been working in automotive. I don't know why. I don't have a great passion for cars, I have to say. I love cars, but just as a vehicle, you know. But I was really loving what I'm doing, like always. This was something, my greatest motivation was always working with the people, not with the things, or machines or whatever. So I was always good in that. And I think this helped me always to grow in my career, even though it was never a very intentional career. So I did internships in China. Also for the company, I was employed then at the end. And then I got this job at production planning in Germany after I graduated from university. And I was flying back and forth like every 2 months.
What were you doing production planning?
In production planning, well, I was doing project management.
Okay.
So I didn't work like as a assembly engineer or like body shop something. I was doing the whole project management, because at this time the plant in China was growing and we needed to do the whole project management for the growth of the production plant.
Which then is aligned with your qualifications.
Yes.
Because you're managing the administration of the business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was also doing like HR, like getting the resources on board for the project. I was managing the costs and the whole controlling. So it was actually aligned to my also studies, university degree, etc. So we found a way, but it was still a very generalistic thing,
Yeah.
I had to keep an overview about everything and not working on specific things, which I really, really liked. And then one day I got asked if I want to move to China as an expat. I was doing, because I'm doing everything and nothing. It was like very generalistic. Yeah. But I think the thing was I was always passionate about what I was doing. So I think this helped me. And then I was working for the board member a while, and I got promoted even to become a team leader. And then I went back to the joint venture environment after this assignment. And again, I was responsible for project management, and then I got pregnant.
Before we get to you getting pregnant, moving from Germany, coming to work in China as an expat, those are like big responsibilities, because obviously when you're coming as an expat, there are more expectations that you bring in your expertise. How is that weight like? And I'm also looking at you now coaching, doing career coaching. So how is that like? Is it like also something that you envisioned in the future that maybe I would like to become an expert, or?
I really liked China, and I knew that I want to work in China for a while, but I had no idea in what kind of position. I was always like, it was always something by accident. It happened, and then I was pushed to something. So maybe looking back, it would be sometimes good to do more intentional decisions, because I always thought like I cannot be lucky forever. Someday I really need to take this job search thing into my own hands, and so I would not recommend to do it like this, but I was just very, and my parents, they never gave me any pressure. They always said, whatever you like to do, you just do. They never told me, you need to study this, or you need to do this or that. They always were very open. They said, even if you open a small bakery and you're happy with that, then go for it, So they were always very supportive. So I had the trust that wherever I go, I have the support of my parents, which was very nice. Yeah.
And when you moved to China, were you married, or it was before you got married?
No. I met my husband here in China.
That's great, but he's also German.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
That's great. Like starting your journey here, if you were married, I was going to ask, how was the transition, like moving from Germany to China? But I think you also lived that, because you just like when we were talking before we started, you said you worked in China and then you went back to Germany after you got pregnant. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you also just explain that, when you had to come back as well?
Back to Germany.
Back to Germany, and then you came back to China.
Yeah. So I met my husband at work, actually, in China. He was also an expat, which I also don't recommend at all, because it was not a nice love story, I have to say, because it was quite public. Everyone knew both of us, and and there is a lot of...
I work with my husband as well.
Really?
Yes.
I said I won't do this at all in future again. Like, I would not do this.
And advise maybe your kids.
Yes. Like I could, for me, because we were constantly only talking about our jobs, And you know, and when our relationship started, everyone knew everything about us. We even didn't know about it. So it was like, it was quite annoying. And that I lived in CBD area before, and there were so many expats, and we decided to move somewhere without any other foreigners. So we have like our private space.
Were you working together or
in the same department? Yes.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
I think that's romantic.
Yeah.
I'm not to chime in, but I'm a sucker for love stories. Carry on.
Oh no, I wouldn't recommend this. Yeah, but then we both worked here for like almost 5 years, and he already 6 years. And then I got pregnant, and surprise, they were twins.
Oh my God.
But actually, it is very funny because I always said, if I ever get pregnant, I want to have twins, because then I'm one time pregnant, 2 babies, you know, then done.
Yeah,
that was very efficient. But I never expected it will be so exhausting. So I don't know if I would recommend.
Double trouble.
Double trouble. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. But then we decided to go back to Germany when I was like pregnant. In the last moment with twins, you need to fly a bit earlier because of the risk. So I had to go back when I was highly pregnant, and we also had 3 dogs. So we moved back. I'm highly pregnant with our 3 dogs, and we stayed in Germany. I gave birth to the twins, and then COVID hit us. And it was actually a very nice time, because in Germany during COVID, my husband had to do home office basically, and then he could help me sometimes more with the babies.
Yeah, you know, actually we planned our baby during COVID because we thought, I mean, lockdown, nothing is happening, so it's a great time to, you know, to have a baby.
Yes,
yeah,
it was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, talking about pregnancy, the law in Germany, maternity leave is 2 years.
Yes.
My goodness.
3 even. You can take 3 years, and because I have 2, I have 6 years.
Guys, can you hear that? She's got 6 years
Yes.
of maternity leave. In South Africa, it's only, okay, the company that I worked for, previously it was 100 working days, and then another company that I worked for, it was only 4 months.
Oh.
So that's an advantage.
Yeah, actually in China they told me, that was also one of the reasons I wanted to go back, because they told me basically in China it's 3 months. When you have twins, you get another month. When you have a C-section, you get another month. So I would have 5 months only. And I said, okay, with twins, no. I go back to Germany and enjoy my freedom there in maternity leave. And then, I mean, there was COVID anyway. But I wanted to go back to work as soon as possible. But I really underestimated how hard it is with 2 babies at home. And in Germany, we don't have like a nanny or something, you know. You have everything, you need to do everything on your own. And they didn't let me sleep for 2 years. I woke up every hour, every night for 2 years, and I was like more dead than alive. And I said, okay, I cannot go back to work. So I applied for another year. In total, I had 3 years in Germany.
Yeah, that's lucky. I mean,
Yes.
that's really a privilege. And I'm just thinking of 2 kids, you know, like when one is asleep, another one is awake, so it really like takes a toll on you.
Yes.
And just thinking that you were alone, you know, in South Africa you could easily get a nanny.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you went back to Germany. How long were you there for until you come back again to China?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we plan to stay there for longer. I even bought a young horse while having 2 babies. I don't know, maybe the hormones or something. I was just crazy. We decided to stay there for longer. But then my husband got another offer after 2 years to go back to China. And I was like, oof, now I'm actually not ready to go back. But at the same time, I thought, okay, now the kids are still small, and maybe we just go. And that's why after 2.5 years, well, almost 3 years, we came back to China. And first I was like, yeah, because my last job was in China, so when we go back, I will just continue to work here, because then we can have a nanny, etc. Then I had several talks, but there was nothing I really felt passionate about. they only offered me like full-time positions and everything, and I was like, but then we have 2 kids now, and then I won't see them every day, and my husband don't see them, and like I didn't feel ready for that. And then I was thinking about what else can I do, because I cannot just be home and being a housewife is really it's not.
And this is another topic that I would like to have, but not for today. Like when a lot of spouse take like an international assignment as an expert, there are other spouse, or partner, like if they go with them, some resign. And if you're working for the same company, lucky enough, you can take sabbatical leave, but that's only in Germany. Which is then an advantage. Yes. And I would really like to talk on this because it is such a topic, and I love what you've started, career coaching, and I also saw that you're focusing on more especially wives that are here not having to work, because it's also not easy to find work in China. So we are based in China, by the way, and so please let's talk more on that as well. So you experienced it, you came, you worked, and then you went back. Now you came back again with kids, and then now being at home, you found this passion also.
Yes, right. Yeah, so I thought I cannot just stay home every day doing nothing basically. And then I remembered, when I started my professional journey, I also did an internship in a department with like training and development, like HR things for employees, and I was always very interested in that as well, but I thought I need to go to the real business world. That's why I chose to do another thing first. But then I thought maybe after my journey, now it's the time to finally start what I really want to do. And I found a nice company who offers training to become a certified coach here in Beijing. And so I started with them.
You should link me up with that company.
Yeah, it's called Empower One. And I can really recommend them because it opened a new world to me.
And I see, like I saw I met you in the expert group, but you were advertising your course, and then I followed you on Instagram, and I was quite impressed with the type of information like you were sharing about coaching. So that's why I thought it would be great for you to be, on my season 3, episode 1.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's
sorry to
really
cut you. I just had to mention this. Yeah.
It's really exciting, yeah. So I did this kind of becoming a coach training, and it really changed my life because I somehow transitioned from my corporate life into becoming a career coach.
Yeah.
And I also met so many great people here. I had this community of other coaches, which was really helpful to me, not only like having everyday conversations with other expert spouses, which is like kind of not my thing. So
don't say that.
When I was working, I always said next life expert wife, but since I was an expert wife, I was like,
I love it though. I was on it for 4 months and it was amazing.
Only 4 months is fine.
I just hated sleeping a lot, like, oh my god. I felt so lazy. Like after dropping off the kids, I would just go back and sleep.
Yes.
And I'm like, no.
But this is only the first half year, and then you start getting bored. I have a horse in China, so I ride my horse almost every day. That's why I'm half a day busy with my other passion, which is like
thinking. Wait, do you stay away? Like, do you stay in a farm in China? Or
no. We just live in a normal house. But
sorry, I digress. I think you can come and visit me.
Oh, actually, we have like 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 hamsters. So our house is like a farm, but no.
And twins.
And twins. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. No, but where did I start working?
Yes, you were still saying that you met other coaches as well.
Yes, so this network was also very important because we empowered ourselves like each other, and we went through this journey together. And becoming a coach is a quite interesting thing because it's different from working in a corporate. You don't have a job assigned to you.
Yeah,
I got my certifications, and then what's next?
What's next? Yeah, I mean, I do coaching, but I don't call myself a career coach. I call myself a career strategist. I don't have a qualification for it, and this is like I learn more into a lot of consultations. So my goal is always to meet one stranger a day and support them, and with their stories of their testimonies. That's really a validation that I'm on the right track. So, and I learn new things. I mean, I do a lot of research, but I would definitely like to do the qualification. And I do agree with you when you say, like, you look at it like, what's next? What do I do with this qualification? Where do I start? Yeah. And with that as well, what really inspired you, like, to become a coach? Apart from the department that you were in the beginning, I would have also thought that you leading a team would have also have that influence as well.
Yeah, like my first attempt doing this coaching training was to do it for myself. Okay. And also thinking about when I go back after my sabbatical, to my corporate life, I can use these skills for my teams and for others and so on. So I never thought about like becoming a career coach at the first attempt. But then because I have a passion to work with people and I love their stories, similar like you, like I'm like always there and listen, and I wanted to learn some tools how I can support them in their journeys. And since I was an expat spouse being on a sabbatical leave, I met for sure many other expat spouses, and I was always wondering what they are doing every day, with their time, and what comes next, because like an expat assignment will end one day.
Definitely.
Yeah, and as you said, some people resign to come with their partner abroad.
And it's a hard decision.
It is a hard decision.
It's not easy, and I cried a lot, when my husband got the opportunity, and I was crying more because I was not granted the sabbatical leave, and just looking at the history and so many factors, that played, it was very stressful, and I'm just like, I want to go with my husband because this is a great opportunity, not just for my husband, for the kids as well.
Yes, right.
So, and then now, I also didn't want to come. And I actually wanted to come here and be at home. But
I guess you would also not just stay home and do nothing.
Coaching. Yes, I thought I was going to do, coaching full time. Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, now you're even like, I always wonder where you get all your energy from. When I see your Instagram, I'm always like, how is she doing this? Like, running on a treadmill in the morning and then doing the kids and then bringing them to the bus, and then you go to work like full time, and then you're doing the coaching this is so amazing. Like, I'm always like, how is she doing this? Are you ever asleep?
And I sleep a lot, funny enough. Literally when I get home 8 o'clock we must be going to bed. I'm not an evening person, I'm a morning person. I wake up, my alarm is for 4:50. I can't wake up by myself. I'm just like a routine person. If it disturbs my routine, I get so angry. And when I'm at work, I put my phone away. I literally focus on work because I'm very much results driven. So with whatever that I'm doing, I want to see results at the end. Although like when you're doing something, you're not really focusing on the results. I'm in the present. However, I want to see the results at the end.
It's really amazing. Wow. That's really amazing. Yeah.
So going back to you, when you say like, and then you see the expert's wife at home, and in terms of frustration, I've spoken to most of them as well, that it's not easy to find a job, outside of your home country, because there's like visa complications or implications, so it becomes a lot. And now you then started with coaching.
Yes. Yeah, because I just realized, even though it's hard to find a job in China during an assignment or not even China, it's anywhere you go, you know, when you accompany your partner, it's not easy for you to work then, to get a working visa, but you can use this time being an expat spouse and have more freedom during the day to work on your own career.
Yeah.
And career is very personal. It doesn't mean to climb the corporate ladder, right? You can do whatever you're passionate about, or you can start something new, you can open your own business or whatever, but I think this is such a valuable time which should be utilized, right?
Yeah.
But I have to say, I also realized that as long as these women have no pressure, they don't do something. They like to enjoy their lives as an expat spouse, which is nice, but since the economy is a little bit struggling at the moment, I get more and more clients coming to me saying, okay, we are going back soon, but I haven't been working for 5-6 years. Christina, what can I do?
Because I mean, the advantage when you're an expat wife or spousal, like when you're here on a spousal support contract, you do get some allowance as well.
Yes.
And also the life of being an expat is also quite comfortable. But when you go back home, you're going back to your salary where nothing is paid. You have like the, you know, everything is on you now. So I'm sure you need to then, you know, consider earning your salary back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they really struggle, because if they resign from their jobs before going abroad, then they have a really big issue now. They need to find a new job. And when you are on a career break for so long, many women facing a lack of confidence. They haven't updated their CVs, their LinkedIn. They haven't been doing any networking like in a professional way. You know, they maybe didn't even take any courses to develop their skills further.
Yeah.
Then it's really hard to go back and find a job, especially in these days.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to create more awareness that it is a valuable time they have as an expat spouse to utilize it in a way it brings value to their own lives in future.
Yeah, please do check her out on Instagram. She shares a lot of information that can be helpful for your career. I mean, looking at like the valuable information that you share, I also gain a lot of knowledge from it. So it's not just for the expat wife, it's just for the whole career coaching. And you know, looking at that as well, let's talk about career coaching. What is career coaching? You know, because I see you also do leadership coaching, not just the one that you just explained.
Yeah. This just became my niche with like women during a career break and supporting them going back to their work. But in general, career coaching is for everyone who wants to work on their own careers. And as I said, career doesn't mean to go up the corporate ladder. It can be anything which is very individual. But just doing intentional decisions for their own professional lives. So basically, when like there are many different clients, you know, they have different topics. Usually, it's about personal growth. It's about how can I optimize my CV or my LinkedIn profile? How can I prepare myself for an interview? Many different things. So there is not like one type of person I would recommend to do career coaching. So it's a very personal decision. Or, it's hard to describe.
No, I get it. I mean, I look at career coaching from my angle that it has really helped me to grow in my career. If I did not get any support from, you know, career coaches, I don't think I would have had the path that I've been on right now. For an example, you know, when I started in the company that I'm currently working for, I started as a level 6, but usually for your qualification, you would start as a level 5. And, you know, with a lot of consultations on how I can get to a level 5, although I was doing a level 6 job, you know, I had to consult a lot. Like, how can I map out my career to grow, to get to this level, because this is where I see myself in the future. And that's where, you know, with career coaching, it's like bridging the gap between you feeling like you've hit the ceiling and you don't know where to start. And a lot of people don't really know where to start. And with consultations, that can really help with, you know, like just, like, you know, guiding you on where to start, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Yes.
So I really love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Going back to your niche that was inspired by looking at the expat wives being at home. I love when you say career is not just about climbing the corporate ladder. It's also about how you develop personally, and looking at like refining your CV. You've got 5 years gap. Like, where do you start?
Yes.
Like, you were not doing anything for the last 5 years. Like, what do you put on your CV?
Yeah, this is really hard. And I always tell these women, or there are even one man who has this, because nowadays there are also sometimes men coming as an
I've met quite a lot.
Yes, so it's not only about women. And I mean, in these 5-6 years, they haven't done nothing on paper at the first, but they developed other skills. And the thing is, you need to define them. You need to think about, what did I do the past 5 years which helped my personal development, and which I can sell as a strength, or like also when you are doing a job interview, can tell my maybe future employer. So there are many things, resilience, or organizational skills, or like whatever. There are skills you developed through this time, because you lived through these years, right? And during your time, you for sure gain new skills, but you need to think about, you need to start a lot of self-reflection, and not thinking, oh my God, I just did nothing and then I feel bad because this. No, you need to try to change your mindset into a positive one, and then really go through everything, reflect, and pick the strength and your new skills you learned during this time, and how can you sell these then to your future employer.
I like that. I mean, I look at some of the partners, I won't say wives because they are partners, I mean they are males as well, where they are so involved in like school activities, and you may find that somebody who's going back now to their home country, they don't look at that as tangible skills that they can put on their CV, and it's something that you can put. So honestly, career coaching is the best, because I get a lot of consultations as well, where somebody feels like, oh, I was working in this environment but it does not match my qualification. And I'm like, hold on, what is your qualification? And you look at qualification with different disciplines, and it's just like, but what you were doing there, you could also apply it with your qualification, because you may find that somebody is looking for something that is aligned with their qualification and the skills. Now we are in the era for skills, not necessarily qualifications. Like,
absolutely
now
correct.
It's all about the skills that you have. Like, what do you bring to the table? It's not about the degree that you have. Like, no, I've got a degree, so please hire me. No, what skills do you have? Like tech. I mean, not all degrees get you to become tech savvy. You have to put that in practice. So it's all about what you put in practice.
You absolutely said it right. Like, it's about the skills, not what your certificate or whatever or your CV says. And especially during these breaks, people do some volunteering work or whatever, and they learn so valuable skills they can use for their new jobs. And I always tell these people, think about what makes you unique.
True. It's about the story you tell.
It is
about what is unique from other people.
This is what counts. Right?
I love it. I love career coaching, so that's why I'm smiling, and I can't really stop commenting. And what else would you like us to add with career coaching, or what advice would you give, in career coaching in general? Or just before we conclude, you also do leadership coaching. Are you do you have clients that are leading teams?
Yeah, mostly clients who want to develop their leadership skills to take on leadership positions in future. So I don't do the executive coaching. I more support young potential leaders to develop these skills, which is also very, very interesting. And for that, I combine my passion with horses. Because I also have a certification in equine assisted coaching. Have you ever heard of this?
No. What is that?
Because horses are very sensitive animals. They reflect you as a mirror. They feel your emotions before you even feel them. So they are very, very sensitive animals. And I learned an approach where you can be together with horses and use them in the coaching setting as co-coaches. It's very interesting, but this is another topic. But especially in leadership coaching, this is so nice because when you practice your leadership skills, if you are doing good, the horse will follow you. If not, they ignore you. And they mirror your emotions back, like how you treat them, they will reflect it back. And this is so nice and wonderful and even magical sometimes in coaching settings.
And now that you're talking about leadership, I'm just thinking, I've seen a lot, when people are saying that female leaders are very bad because they lead with emotions. Like, how were you as a female leader? What do you think?
I have to be very honest, I prefer male leaders. And in my working environment, there are more male than female leaders. Yeah. And every time I had a female leader, I had conflicts. Because what is a problem of female leaders, or at least what I experienced, is that they, as you said, they are leading more with emotions. And emotions, they come out of, like, I don't know, sometimes it's
50% females, 50% male, and I also still feel like we are far in terms of bridging that gap where female leaders can lead from I'm not really sure, I'm like trying to find the right word, and I don't want to use like moving away from using emotions, because I also had one female leader where we clashed a lot, and with the clashes that we had, it would be maybe me wanting to grow in my career, and then it was like a lot of rejections, and I also didn't understand whether it was like a point of what is really going on. I mean, I just want you to support to grow in my career. And also when we talk about like the results that I've achieved, sometimes my personal life was brought in, like outside life. I post a lot on Instagram, but if you look at when I post, it's not when I'm at work. It's usually either I'm going to work or during lunchtime at work, and it's not like I'm on my phone all the time. So now, even like if you see the comments, I would comment later because I'm not like literally always on my phone. And sometimes, when you are bringing my personal life into my work, but it's not affecting my work at all, it definitely becomes a problem. And I feel like also with female leaders, when a topic is being addressed, we look at it from being attacked as a female and not necessarily a topic that is being addressed at hand. I led a team as well. I'm sure I had my flaws, but with coaching, it really helped a lot to look at things differently. And I love when you use the horse example. Because I think there's a saying that if you take a horse to drink water, and you can't take a horse to, I don't know. Like, what do you know? Kate, you know the saying. What did you say?
You can bring a horse to the reservoir of water, but you can't make it drink and absorb, and
Yeah.
Lots of deep meanings in there.
So I think we really do need to address these topics with career coaching. I think that's the right platform as more females climb the corporate ladder, and I love it. I'm like vouching for them that yeah. But in terms of having a female leader, it's really a challenge, and I've enjoyed having a lot of male leaders because they really supported my growth, and my growth is not being supported from coming from an entitlement position. It had a lot of justifications, and sometimes I would have literally people from other department calling me like, hey, I see like you're doing amazing work and this and that and that, and I'm like, why am I not getting this from my own department? And it's used as like a negative thing instead of like a positive thing. So definitely we still have a lot of work to do, and with career coaching, I'm sure you're the right person, and you've got the experience of being a leader, you've got the experience of the horse. So thank you so much, Christina. We are coming to the end of our interview. I've really enjoyed the conversation, and I definitely learned a lot. But before you leave, I would like to ask you if you read books.
Books.
Are you a reader? I'm sorry for putting you in the spotlight. The reason I'm asking, I'm reading, and I'm going to be asking every guest what they're reading because I want to get more books to read on my reading list. Yeah.
Yes, I have to say I'm not reading so much at the moment. One reason is I had a very serious eye injury a couple years ago, and I'm almost blind on this eye, so I cannot really focus very long. But that's why I can listen to like audiobooks more.
Okay.
But when I read, it's more about coaching at the moment. So like coaching literature, just to get more new input and to educate myself more in this field.
Yeah.
And I mean, for sure, news and etc. I also read, but I always inspired by your like book reading passion, which I always say, oh, I should also start reading books or at least listen to more books.
Yeah, no, definitely listening would also be great.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're going back to Germany soon, you mentioned?
Yes, in summer.
Are you looking forward to it? Like going back to your home country, so basically your husband's assignment is coming to an end. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to it because then, I will go back to my corporate life, but only in part-time, which we have this opportunity in Germany, and I really... I haven't been working in Germany for a very long time, so
Can I go work in Germany?
Curious, how it will be to work in Germany, and I will establish my coaching business more, also the leadership part with the horses, which I can do in Germany finally. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope I can still support many women in their journeys with career coaching. And there is also a big need. The needs there are a bit different from here. Then maybe it's more about career breaks while they're taking like 3 years for maternity leave and then going back to work. So it's a little bit different, but still there is a need. And I really hope I can establish my business there in Germany.
Are you not anxious? I'm just like thinking, going back to your home country, you're thinking of like the starting over, like how does it look like?
Yeah, I'm more the person who lives in the present moment.
Okay. I think in Europe, like just traveling or working in other countries and studying in other countries is very common. Very common.
Yeah.
That's really great. Yeah, and the kids, are they excited?
Yeah, like for them, China is their home. Also for me, I always say, I mean, this, home is where your heart is, right?
Yeah,
so for
definitely.
us, home was Beijing for a very long time, and now just a new chapter will start. And I mean, we probably won't be there forever. We can also imagine to go somewhere else after a couple of years. We always need to change ourselves after a couple of years. I think this is the luxury life we have, working in such kind of a corporate environment, to have this opportunity. But let's see.
Yeah, for me, I just want to say all the best. I know you will continue to make, the impact that you are making, more especially with the influence that you have. And I'm glad that you're also going to, take it back to corporate, having somebody with such a certification in corporate, and from your position perspective as well, that, you are a leader in the organization, that would also, bring a lot of influence, like positive influence, and have a lot of impact on people. So all the best. All the best. I look forward to continue to engage with you. This is not going to be the last time we talk.
No, definitely not.
I'm really so excited, and also excited to learn from you.
Thank you. Vice versa.
Okay, and we've come to the end of our podcast, so we will chat again soon. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Be kind and gentle.